Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a flip through of my Hobonichi Techo English version for 2022, and this is a completed planner. So this is how it looked at the end of the year, and I do have some things marked off and tabbed and covered, but the rest of it I am going to give you flip throughs and show you. Honestly, I'm really impressed with the spines on these because, as you can tell, mine's pretty thick and the spine didn't crack at all. So we're going to do a flip through. I am going to show you the most used pens and markers that I used for 2022 in this planner on this paper. So we're going to start out with that, and then we're going to do a flip through. So I tried, I think this was the first one. This is the Energel Cleana in the 0.4. That one I didn't like in the beginning, but then it kind of grew on me later in the year. I used the Muji, I think this is a 0.5, and this was a set of all different colors. This was the first Muji that I used, and this was the 0.38, which this is the pen that I started liking the most, and then I did switch to the 0.5 because of this pen right here. I also tried the Papermate Flares, which I like how these wrote on the paper, but I didn't like the ghosting because I used all different colors, and obviously this paper is very thin, so I moved away from that one. And then this one I have used the most, and this is the Jetstream, the Uni Jetstream in 0.5. I also have this in 0.38, but I do really prefer the 0.5 over the 0.38, and this is a ballpoint pen because I feel like the 0.38s, even with this Muji, which is a gel, it almost sometimes feels like it's scratching the paper. So I definitely prefer the 0.5s, and I do prefer now a ballpoint pen because I can highlight underneath it and over it for the most part without smearing. I really don't like to highlight before and then try to write on top like you have to do with most gel pens, so that's why this is the one that I really use the most with this paper, and the same thing with my Hobonichi Cousin and also my Weeks. So now we're going to get into the flip. And like I said, I'm just going to talk you guys through this and we're going to get started. So I did get the English version, so I just added some stickers in the front. The yearly overview I just decorated with the Zig Clean Color Dot marker that looks like this. And I really didn't use this page at all. It was really just to decorate it. I tried to use the vertical, these right here, the vertical, I guess, layouts. I've tried so many ways to use them, and I know I've talked about this with you guys before. Nothing ever sticks. I can't use it as a habit tracker. So anyways, I just covered it up because I did end up putting some personal information on there. Then we go into the monthlies. So in the beginning, in January, I started out with writing down like our meal plan, things I was reading, listening, watching, kind of like an overview with a little bit of decoration. The dots were kind of like a habit tracker for exercise and language learning, which I didn't really keep up with that as a habit tracker. February I used also for meal planning. March was meal planning, and then some other things started making their way in. And then April just got moved to just really things that I needed to note, so it gets less cluttered, as you can tell. May was the same. I don't really reference this that often. Then we have June, and then July through December are all closed off because I did end up using these monthly sections very heavily, which is why I did switch my planner for 2023 as my everyday carry, because I really started relying on the monthly view section, and as you can tell, it's not very big. I mean, you can write like maybe 2 or 3 things if you have really small handwriting. So there's a lot of like personal information, my daughter's birthday party, RSVPs, so that has been tapped off. So there is the monthly. So now we're going to move into the dailies, and in the beginning of 2022, this was something that I wrote down. before I actually started using this planner. And this was how I envisioned myself using each page. So what I wanted to put on the weekly, like as a weekly overview, daily, and then also monthly. So just was kind of like some brainstorming before I started using the planner as to how I was actually going to use it. So now we're going to move into monthlies. And I started off using this page right here as like kind of gratitude, some events, and then some highs for the month. So this was the first day that I used it, which was January the 1st. And this is when I started testing out pens. Let me see if I wrote down. So this was the Sarasa 0.5. I wrote down that's what it was. And some layouts. This was the Energel Cleana Pilot fountain pen. And then this is the Papermate Flares. So my setup pretty much stayed the same for the entire year on my daily pages. It's either going to go one of two ways, which you guys will probably start to notice as we go throughout the days. I usually added in a couple of different things on my daily pages, and starting off, that would be a to-do list, or sometimes I called it tasks. Then I started adding in gratitude every day. I started to record my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then use each box right here to track my water intake. And I also a couple of times wrote down so this was Sunday, so I do a lot of prep work on Sunday for the week, so that's in here. Chores that needed to get done, and just little like family things were in here also. A little bit of journaling, some work things. And so now this is the end of January, and you can see that I have split the page into two sections, left and right. Also, I was tracking the weather, and I would say by the end of January, I really felt comfortable with this planner. For 2021, I had used a Stalogy notebook, and as you guys know, if you're familiar with Stalogy, it's just a blank notebook, so you have to set everything up. So 2022 was a nice change that everything was set up. I didn't have to write in the dates or kind of plan out any of the pages. So it was really fun just to sit down each week and to decorate. And I just used some deco stickers that I had. These stickers are for my Etsy shop, which is currently on vacation right now. And then I just added in any highlighters or markers and washi tape that matched. And I really like to pick one kind of color scheme or theme for the entire week. And so I'll plan Monday to Sunday with those colors. And that's probably the most fun part of decorating my planner, is just picking out how I'm going to do it. Now this I did for 2022, and then also this year for 2023. For Valentine's Day, I just gave it its own little decoration, and I think I actually used probably the exact same washi that I had. So other than that, almost every week is going to be the same type of decoration, and I tied in all different, stickers and washi tape that I have. So now we are into February, and as you can tell, I have really gotten used to planning this way, and everything was working great. So March, I set up this little page, but I didn't end up filling it out. I kind of felt like it was almost like redundant, because I would write down almost the same things that I wrote down on the daily pages. So this is March, and in March, I don't know if you can tell, but this was the week that I started writing larger. Let me see if I can get a page that was smaller, because when I first started using this planner, I was writing, I feel like, smaller because of the grid size. I don't know if you guys can, you probably can't tell. So anyways, this was when I just started writing larger, and it just made it more comfortable. Like I could add a little more or be a little more relaxed with things that I was writing, if that makes sense, because the grid size on this obviously is different from the Stalogy that I was using the previous year. So that did take a little bit of getting used to. So for the most of the weeks, I would say I would put washi on the top and the bottom. And then sometimes I would highlight the actual date at the top, or sometimes I would just leave it blank, like this week. There's definitely a lot of memories in here, which is always fun to look back and see, and all different stickers, just, you know, from a variety of places. And that's really the way that I like to plan and to decorate. So now we are moving into April, and I did have these tabs that you guys can probably see like on the side. They're really tiny tabs just to mark like the months, but I kind of found that I didn't really need them because I don't really refer back to my planner for things. Anything that I really need to refer to, I ended up putting on the monthly pages, which are in the beginning. So this is April, and this was spring break, and I did tab this off because this has like personal information in it, so that was tabbed off. So here we are still in April. This was actually a kit from, I believe it was Erin Condren, that I had probably for 4 or 5 years. And I just cut out what I needed to, and I was able to decorate it. And some of the circles were the dot markers like I showed you. Some of them, like this was just a Tombow, and I just made circles as, you know, places for check boxes. Sometimes I just drew out a box like that. And it's pretty much like that for all of the days. These are rub-on stickers, so they don't add any extra bulk, which I really like. These are from the Stationery Life, and I believe Jet Pens also sells these rub-on stickers that are really nice. It's just a little bit time consuming getting them down, because every single one you really have to like rub and make sure. Like that one, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a leaf at the top, and it got separated because I didn't basically like rub hard enough for it to transfer, and then I peeled the top layer off, and some of it came off, which is fine, but they're just so pretty. I really like using them. All right, so this week right here, this was the first time that I used like a journaling kit from a shop. I can't remember which one it was, and I did really like this because it switched up, I guess, the bulk to where I wasn't having washi on the top and the bottom. I kind of added more bulky spots in the middle, if that makes sense. And then I went back to the top and the bottom. This was actually a kit or stickers that are made for maybe also an Erin Condren. I think it's called a Daily Duo. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that planner, but I do remember seeing that that's what it was listed for. And I wanted to try it out like on the top and the bottom like this. And basically, I think this was one long strip, and then I just cut it down and it worked. Here's more of the rub-on stickers, which I've said before, I just absolutely love. They're very pretty. They're just look like watercolor paintings to me. And some days I just left completely blank. If we had like a busy family day, or if there just wasn't anything for me to write down, I just left it blank and went on with life. I know some people like to go back in their planner and fill it out, but I don't really have that desire. If it's not in there, then it's not in there. I do have a couple of these. I might only have 3. This one, a green one, and I thought there was a pink one. So, there's a blue one in here. So I only have 3 page flags. This is why I don't really create an index, because anything that I do want to remember, I will just put a tab, and you know, for the whole year I only had 3, so wasn't a lot for me. These are more rub-on stickers, a lot of journaling. Over the summertime, and then we're going to go ahead and skip ahead. Go to July. Whoops. And more journaling for summer. These, I was trying to use up my Happy Planner stickers that I had also had just forever. This I'm going to go ahead and skip. And then I did Christmas in July because I had these Christmas stickers and I needed to use them. I feel like when Happy Planner stickers first came out, they were really popular. I mean, this was years and years ago. And so I had some that I had picked up on clearance. And they were just sitting there because I didn't, you know, really use them. I like smaller deco, but I just pulled them out and started using them. And these days I just used a thick piece of washi, and then we're going to skip ahead because this was vacation and it has location things on it, so I don't really want to share that. So this is basically the layout of how I did our vacation days. So I just used some deco stickers, colored the top, and then I did like some journaling like in the actual space of like where we went, where we ate at, fun things that we did. And like this day we drove home. And then in August I decided to test out my old Hobonichi cousin. And so that is how that looks like. And then we have blank pages. And then we're back to planning. This is when, I believe this is when I went back to work full time. So back to planning a little bit more than before in the summer. In the summer is planning, but also a lot of journaling. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Okay. This is a sticker. I don't have it on my desk. From the Stationary Life, and it's basically like a weekly plan, and I wrote down what we were doing for dinners that week. And this was a pretty basic week, not too much decorating. This orange is the Muji 0.5, and that set that I got, it had a bunch of different colors, so I tried out the orange this week because I typically gravitate towards a black pen, which I do like the Muji gel pens. They're probably number 2 behind my Jetstream Ballpoint because there are so many colors, and I feel like they write really smoothly. So now we are into September, and these pages got a little more simplified from earlier in the year. Things were just busy and I was really tired. I'm trying to think how many weeks pregnant I was. I don't know if I wrote it down in here somewhere. So I just didn't have the mental capacity to add more than I needed to. And this was the start of another journaling kit that I had picked up. And so that was fun to use. Then we switched over to fall theme. And I always have like a love-hate relationship with fall stickers. I start using them and then like by 2 weeks I'm just over it. So here we have October. And this is when I started using just like a Tombow, like a brush stroke essentially, and then writing on top of it with the Jetstream to make little sections, make them pop a little bit more, I guess you could say. And that is really the layout that I kept going for the rest of the year. And most of these sticker kits, if I would start out with them in here, and then if I had any extras or leftovers, I would put them in my moleskin pocket or my Hobonichi Weeks. I always use up all of the stickers typically. Yeah, so here I was 31 weeks pregnant, so definitely tired. Just some journaling over Thanksgiving break. And then this is going to wrap up November, and then this brings us into December. December was such like a crazy whirlwind of a month. My daughter turned 4. We had her birthday party. We had so many of her friends have birthdays in December also, so that was just hectic. And then also planning for baby, that was due the end of January. Christmas, hospital bag. It was just a really crazy month. And then my second daughter came early on December 31st. So looking back, December was really intense. So that was it. When I wrote this, it was December, and I was going to move into my new planner. So the rest of these pages are blank. And this is when my daughter was born. So I'll show you the back few note pages that I had This is just some information that I learned from a video about language learning, and then this was like some pre-planning about how I wanted to use my 2023 planner, and then some thoughts about like a lineup, and then the rest of the pages are blank, and that is it. That's the end of the flip through. Hopefully you guys found something that you could try out in your planner and you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, always leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and watching. Subscribe if you like planner related content, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.